Kola's mom in that movie is a bitch. She will give the devil a run for his money, because how can a mother be that vile to her own children? Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. How are you doing today? And if you're new here, welcome, and thank you all for the support. I really appreciate you. God bless you. So today I'm going to be doing a movie review. The movie Blood Sisters. I mean, there's been a lot of fuss about it. I think it premiered on the 5th. That was Thursday. Of course, it was a work day, but when I got to the street of Twitter, I saw, like, I just saw it trending. People were talking about it. Everywhere was agog with Blood Sisters, Blood Sisters, Blood Sisters. So I was like, let us go and see this movie for ourselves. I watched it, and here is my take. Do I think it's a good movie? Overall, I'll rate it like 4/5, and I have my reasons for that. I'm going to be sharing that with you. I think overall the storyline is good. The scripting is overall good, but it could do with some improvements. I think the acting was top notch. I mean, it only goes to show that you can have a star-studded movie and still have something really good. So I think this is an improvement from the last movie we saw from Ebony Studios. So I feel that overall it's a good movie. So let me dive right into the review. So there are different characters, and I liked the way the characters built up. I love the character of Kola. And why do I love the character of Kola? It debunked that fact that actor no they die for fame that we are used to in Nollywood movies. The fact that you feel that, oh, because this person is like the main actor of the movie, they're not going to die, they're just going to be there. Something miraculous will just continue to keep them alive. This was not the case of the character of Kola, and I think Ademola did a fantastic job to depict that character to the best. I mean, I don't know. I feel that it was a good performance from Demi, because it showed how sick Kola was, and it showed how he kind of portrayed to his victim that he was the victim while he was the villain. I mean, it was just the twist of sickness. If you really look at it, I love the way he portrayed. In a minute he was attacking somebody, and then in the next meeting he was crying and making the person feel as though you made me attack you. And I think that's what a lot of abusers do. And I like the fact that we're able to portray it in the movie. I'll try not to give spoilers as much as possible, but I love the way the class acts. I mean, I love the way they brought out the characters. I mean, I loved it so much. And it didn't get a lot of screen time, but it was an elephant in the room in almost every scene. The movie centered around him, even though it didn't get enough screen time. And I think that was beautifully done. So kudos to the actors. I think they did a very good job of depicting their characters. So let me go to the next person I want to talk about, which is Kola's mom. That woman is a bitch. There is nothing anybody can tell me. How do you look your daughter, your own child, in the eye? A daughter that is trying to recover from addiction. Like, she's trying her best. She's doing the best. I mean, to get out of the hole that she has sunk into. And you look your daughter in the eye and you tell her that you've never given her a chance because, in a word, because you're useless. Oh, how do the parents do that to their child? Like, it was beautifully done. That character was beautifully, brought to life by Shaw's acting. I mean, we've always known that Shaw is a great actor, and I love the fact that she was able to bring that character to life. I think some people had some misconception about this character, and I'm going to tell you what I think those misconceptions are. Number one, people felt that when she heard her son was dead, that she did not cry. So this is a narcissist, right? This person believes that the world revolves around them. They believe that they have the key of the universe in their hands. This person believes that if there is no her and there is no a son, then the world doesn't exist, right? This person believes that she is the modicum of respect, class, poise, everything put together. She believes that she is perfect. She believes her child is perfect. She believes anything besides her and her child is imperfect. So she always has to prove that point. She always has to appear as though everything is going well. And that's why she dressed like that, even though she was supposed to be in mourning. Even though on the day they were burying her child, she was, flying private jets, wearing, dresses and all of that. And I feel that it's to tell how sick that character it really is, to tell you how demonic that character is, to tell you that she may not necessarily love her son. It could just be that because he filled a hole in her life, or it fulfilled something in her. It was a means to an end. To an extent, I feel that that's why she loves that boy. She doesn't love him for who he is. And one of the sickest things was, how does a mother kiss her son on the lips? I mean, just find that really disgusting. So Sarah represented like a lot of girls from the middle or low class Nigerian class, where you want to move to the upper class, and then you have to sacrifice certain things, and you have to be the sacrificial lamb for your family. I think that kind of just depicted, and I liked the way it depicted the Nigerian society, especially when it comes to marriage, especially when it comes to a specific bride, specific tribe, and how they like to use their daughters or their girl children for sacrificial, like as sacrificial lambs. And I don't think it's just in that tribe, right? I think it's dominant there. I think maybe every tribe in Nigeria does it. I'm not sure, but I feel that it's dominant in that tribe. Something that they do, something that they are known for in that part of Nigeria. So I like the fact that it came out. I mean, I like the fact that they were able to portray it. And Sarah's parents, especially Sarah's mother looked her child in the eye as she told her child to soak in the pain, to take it. She said it's just one slap. In my head, I'm like, all of us are already going mad already. So it depicts the average Nigerian mother. This is not a representation of every Nigerian mother, but it depicts the average Nigerian mother. The average Nigerian mother would tell a child, you have to suck it, you have to make your marriage work, you are the only one that can make everything work in this marriage. It is you. The success of the marriage is on your head. You have to take the heat. If a child comes home to say, I'm being domestically abused or violated, the mother tells the child to suck it and tells her to, which was what Sarah mothers did, which was not surprising. And I love the way they put it out there. Like, it's easy. It's very simple for you to tell other people to withstand pain because you want to feel the pleasure of whatever you are reaping from that arrangement. Sarah's mother didn't do that from a place of love, or from place of, it was because of whatever gains, the financial gains that her family was going to get, from the union between these two people. And your child, whom your sole responsibility, you have a sole responsibility to cater to her, to protect her, is looking at you in the eye and is telling you that I'm in danger, and you are saying, suck it up, baby. I mean, it's just one slap. But I love Sarah's mom, which was played by Uche Jumbo, and I think this is the first time I'm seeing her in that kind of role. So who's the next character I want to talk about? Femi. I really don't know about Femi. I think he played his role well. I think all the actors in the movie did play their role well. I think I like the way they showed him that he's always on the sidelines, it's always in the shadow, even though by tradition, because he's the first son of the house, he's supposed to be the one leading, but then he's the one following, and he's always been in the shadow, and it kind of seemed comfortable to be in that place. But his wife, she literally dragged him. I'm sure she dragged him out of that road. That why do you want to be following somebody that's supposed to be following you? So I think his wife was really a strong point. I think it's just a laid back, what's the word for people like this? I don't know. I think Femi just did not eat. For me, it was just too laid back. Like, it was just too laid back. Okay, so they did not give you the company to run. Why don't you have your own ambitions? Like, don't you have other things that you want to do with your life? Does it necessarily mean, do you necessarily have to run that company? Is that the only thing that you live for in your life? Is that the only thing that you came here to do as a human being? Why do you have to run that company? Why not build something? You have money, you have resources. Why not do stuff of your own? Must it be that company? I'm just saying, I feel that yes, when things are like supposed to be rightly yours and you're not being, they don't give it to you, you really want to get that thing, like you really want to get those stuff. But what I'm saying in essence, if you feel that something is supposed to be yours and they're not giving it to you, rather than do funny things, lego stuff to try to get that thing, why not build your own thing from scratch or make it compete with that one and take it, make it better than that one. I'm just thinking on top of my head because I feel that Femi could have done better. Now, outside of those characters and the people that played them, they did a fantastic job. I think they were able to deliver their characters to the best that they could. Now, let's talk about their attires. What are those nuances that I loved that was showcased in the movie? The first thing for me, and I started going, oh my god, I love this, was the blend of language, guys. I totally love the blend of language. We are Nigerians, and in our everyday interaction, we don't speak only English or speak only Yoruba or speak only Pidgin English. There's a blend. You interact with some people in Yoruba, you interact with some people in English, you interact with some people in Pidgin English, and they depicted that in that movie. Like you interact with some people in your local dialect. It could be Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Ibibio, and all of the dialect, and I love the fact that we were able to see that in the movie. That's one thing that I think they got super right, 100%. Our movies should be a representation of us, our culture, our way of life. That is what our movies should showcase, because whether we like to admit it or not, we are telling a story to people outside the world, outside Nigeria, who don't know us. And the only way, and I mean, the way most of them will get to know us is by interacting with the content that we put out. So what else do I like? I think I like their wardrobe. I think I love the way they also portrayed, during the track, during the music engagements and all. I love the way they portrayed the character. The sorry, I love the way I love the wardrobe. I think the wardrobe was interesting. I think the wardrobe for Kola's mom, Kitensha, showed us at, the way she carry her shoulder. In fact, her shoulder parts, even the clothing. I loved the way that the choice of clothing shows, they spoke about us. So that's the thing about movies. It's not everything. You don't tell things, you show us. I love the fact that, the way she dressed, kind of just accentuated the kind of person that, she is. So I love addressing. I love the way she carried herself. I love the fact that, so I feel like the kind of people, and I feel like the kind of person she was, you could feel it from the way she dressed. Like she just wanted to be on top of everything. She wanted to put everything together. She wanted to be in control all of the time. Now let me get into the things that I think they could have done better. I'm going to save the best for the last. So let me start by saying the scenes, especially when they were trying to clean up. Where did they get the garbage bag they wore from? Where? People that are dressed in traditional attires go and do party, and something mistakenly happened, and they are cleaning up a scene, a crime scene, and they are doing it as if they are pros. No. I think whoever directed that script or that scene they did not do a good job there, because come on, these people don't kill people for a living. It just happened, and they're trying to clean up, and there's no smear on their makeup, their faces. They were not sweating all over the place. Their makeup was not shifting. They were not trying to patch or manage their makeup at some point, and they are cleaning up. They've cleaned up all their traditional attire that is sweeping the floor. They have cleaned it up to the point that they cleaned up and there was no dot of blood stain on their body, and they were too collected in their acting. They shouldn't have been that collected. They just killed somebody. They should be jittery to the point that even after, I loved Inidima. I loved how she fell apart in her father's hands, but the father did not really understand what was happening. I love she did that, and I felt that Nancy was too collected. Yes, I know there are people who internalize pain, internalize shock. They're able to, like, they have serious shock absorbers, but I feel that you just took somebody's life. I mean, that's a next level shit. is the next level thing. So that person shouldn't have been that calm. So I felt that the crime scene, they went pro too fast. They went pro too fast. Like, they should have been an error. There should have been blood stains on her dress. She should have tried to change it to something else. The other lady too should have tried changing something else. That shouldn't have been so perfectly done. It was too perfect for people who were amateurs. That's that. And then number two, in my head, I'm thinking, how did they get all the equipments that they used? How did they gain access into all those places that they went to? It's not as if you can just walk into kitchens and inner rooms, I mean restricted areas of places like maybe hotels, or yeah, hotels. You can't just walk into restricted areas. How did they get all the gears that they used, everything they used up until the point of where they submitted it into the, how did that happen? You just showed us somebody picking this thing as if she's present, she's a cook there. No, it's wrong. I feel that they didn't do a good job there. There should have been backstories. Even if that was what you showed us in front, that they went to carry knife, they went to carry this, they went to carry that, you should have told a backstory on how they got access to those places and those things. That would have better made it more believable. It's a movie, yes, but we need it close to reality as possible. We don't need it to be 100%, but we need it to be very close to reality. So after that happened, but that photographer was sleeping in his car, and I think while they were entering, like when the party started, they tried to show us but that photographer, and but that photographer was sleeping in his car, and he just suddenly woke up and saw the girls when they were doing their do, and I'm like, how? And then he started taking pictures. That was really wrong. I think they got that 100% wrong, and that's why backstory is very important in storytelling. You can start a story from wherever. You can start from the beginning, you can start from the end, you can start from the middle. If you start from the beginning, you don't need backstories. If you start a story from the middle or the end, you need backstories to make us understand how that character got to that place. For the photographer, it could have been that you would have told a story, or maybe how he's had a fight with his wife at home and doesn't really want to go home, or how he's having problems paying his rent, and he and his landlord, they like, he doesn't really go home, he's running from his landlord. You could have told that kind of story, and then we'd see how it will lead us to after the party scattered. Then we could have had him think in his head that, I don't think I want to go home. This parking lot is a perfect space for me to spend my night. Tomorrow morning I'll wake up and do the next thing. If you had told us that kind of backstory, we understand why he's in that parking lot at that point in time. Now, as the girls were moving that laundry trolley, they should have, is the guy is sleeping already. They should have bumped into something, maybe a car, and the alarm will sound, and then that alarm triggers him to wake up, and then he goes looking for where, like, he goes investigating and trying to trace where the sound is coming from, and that's when he sees them trying to frantically make the car stop beeping, make the alarm of the car stop beeping, and then he sits down to quietly watch them, sees them move the trolley to their car, open their car, try to, and then that's when, maybe as they are moving, he spots the bride and he's like, is this the bride? It's like, what are these people up to? If that thing comes to his head at that point, we've seen that you have led us to that story. That, oh, this person, these people alerted this guy of their presence. Like, they made him realize that they were there and they took a picture. And then it may have, even at that point, shouldn't have recognized the bride because she was not on her makeup. It was not like he was overly familiar with her. So it doesn't even look like, it shouldn't even be able to quickly pick that that's the bride. Now that I'm speaking on backstories, I think Kola should have had a backstory. Like, how did he become a monster? Because you don't give birth to a child and the child just suddenly becomes a monster. How did he become a monster? Was it because he had so much training from his own mother that she trained him so well? Is it a family trait? Did he inherit it from his own father? How does a child become a monster? There must have been things that led to why he is the way he is. Why did he become such an abuser? How did he become an abuser? Kola's mother's story, as much as we like her and how she portrayed her character and everything, I don't think that story too was also complete. How did she become how did she become a bitter woman? Sarah needed to tell her, okay, we know that Sarah is like an only child, but it didn't show like her parents pampered her all her life. So how is she still so vulnerable at that age? How is she still so sometimes naivety played out in her character as well? How is she so naive to an extent? Like she came across as somebody who was so sheltered, but her parents didn't really have the money, and her parents were really the lovey-dovey type. So how is she so innocent, so vulnerable, protected from the world and the harshness of it all? I just feel that there should have been a backstory there. Another thing I think stood out to me was, why did Timei fight Uncle B when he went to carry her from that club? She just really went to him. Like somebody is taking you out of a place. Like it was just weird to me. Like, and another thing they didn't do well is the blade guy that was obviously looking like a hitman, because he looked like a hitman. The way he walked, the energy around him, he carried himself like a hitman. Security did not stop him at the door. And big hotels, I think they have all those metal detectors where you have when you're bringing your stuff in, they are able to scan it. I think big hotels have that. I think that hotel was supposed to be a big hotel for big people. Why wasn't that scanner in place? Why didn't they scan it? Why did they show us that it took the back door to take his things in? There were so many inconsistencies in that scene. Then Kenny, that is a armless boy that is coming to look for the love of his life, was stopped at the gate. He did not have anything in his hands. He just came the way God created him, dressed, and did not even have anything in his hands. He was stopped by security. I think that was wrong. I think the way Blade entered, I think Kenny too should have been allowed to enter. After Kenny enters, then he could have drawn Inidima to a point, and then he would start speaking to him. Then Kola can now spot them, and then from there yam pepper scatter will now happen. So let's talk about the lessons we learned from the movie. I think there were a lot of social issues that the movie tried to portray, and I love that the issues we have in society are being put out in movies. So while we're being entertained, we're learning about things. I mean, anybody can learn that you shouldn't do drugs from that movie. Do not do drugs. Do not do drugs, no matter what. Corruption, police corruption was also talked about in the movie. I think they tried to portray how it happens from all up there, and how people are forced to do the bidding of the oga after a couple of cash has entered their pockets. I think I like the way they portrayed the corruption in the police system. I also liked the fact that they talked about domestic violence. They talked about, what I love about that domestic violence part is the enabling part of the society and Nigerian parents. The way Nigerian parents enable these things. I love how they talked about the enablement from the parents of the girl. The way Nigerian parents enable domestic violence. I love the fact that they really talked about it. They like not really talk, but then I love how they shed the light on it, that yes, this thing is a thing, domestic violence happens, but people enable it, people allow it to happen. Sarah allowed it at a point, and a friend kind of brought it to, like, you can't keep allowing this nonsense to happen. And then her mother now enabled, because of what she was going to gain from the union between the two families. So it was important how they pointed out the enablement of the mother, like the parents, in this domestic violence case. So what else? They talked about organ harvesting, which is something that a lot of people do not think is a thing in Nigeria. And I looked at it, and I began looking at it, that, oh, so organ harvesting is a thing in Nigeria. I just used to think that they kill people for rituals. I think it was just ritualists that we were dealing with. I didn't know there were organ harvesters in Nigeria. So guys, please be careful out there. So I think that was one of the things that the movie tried to talk about around this organ harvesting thing. Can you imagine? I mean, immediately I saw that man give that lady that plenty money, I knew something was up. I knew that we are nice. We are nice people. Nigerians, we are nice, but we are not that nice. that we go and carry strangers and say, come and sleep in my house overnight. We are not that nice. We are too superstitious because we'd be like, if this person come and die in my house now. So it was strange, and I love that part. I mean, I think they did a good job. I think they did a good job there. Yeah, I think they did a good job. Do not allow people to domestically violate you. Try as much as possible to seek help. Yeah. So those were the social vices that were talked about: the corruption, organ harvesting, parental favoritism, sibling rivalry, drugs and substances. All in all, Blood Sisters was a good movie. I would rate it 4/5. Watch it. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Tell me what lessons stood out to you. I really appreciate you. Thank you for supporting me. God bless you all. If you have not subscribed, please smash that subscribe button right now. Please hit that like button right now. Please hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time I post a video. And thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy yourself. At any time you're watching this, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.